Here on Ultra Top Secret, we study top secret operations, both military and political. And what we're seeing with this Judge Mershon situation, this is a covert political operation. What's happening is Judge Mershon, who's presiding over the many legal cases that are being brought against Trump just before the election, what we're finding is they're perverting the law, twisting the law to get him on any kind of little technicality or even making things up. But this isn't an accident, of course. I mean, we can obviously see that all of these cases popping up just before the election is not coincidence, but this is a covert political operation. When we're looking at Judge Mershon here, what we're seeing is that he is presiding over a case. They're making the rules as they go along. The rules to the jurors are confusing. And he's doing, even when there's evidence that should blow the case out of the courts, he keeps it in. Alvin Bragg is put in charge of this thing to make sure it gets ramrodded through. And then what we find out is just as his Trump's trial end is about to come, the Democrats put in a House HRC bill through the House, talking about how called the Disgraced Former Presidents Act, where people with who are convicted of either a state or federal felony, lose their secret service protection. And then what happens is they are purposely trying to get all these 34 counts. You know, he's such a bad guy. He's such a felonious guy. 34 counts of bookkeeping error. He's such an evil man for 34 counts, and then they just ask for 1 year at Rikers. So what we're seeing here is they are maneuvering a bill into the House and then maneuvering it to where he will get put into Rikers Island. In New York, if you get a year or less because of your charges, you get put in Rikers Island, which is known as one of the most dangerous prisons in America. So you have a covert political situation where these guys are making up lies, making up laws, and railroading this guy. And then they just happen to flip a bill in there just as the trial is coming to an end, even though there are things that popped up that should have gotten it taken out of court. They continue with it because what we're seeing is they're trying to get this put into court so then they can then delete him. But there's other things about this Judge Mershon that the media is not reporting. There's a situation where we have a judge that is presiding over a case of the presidential candidate for the president of the United States in a few months. We've got this guy presiding over a case that's going to screw up his going to rallies and going to so where he could campaign and all this kind of stuff, and they're trying to get him deleted. So that's just one of the many facets of this case. Another thing that's happening is he's got a setup where his daughter gets campaign contributions from Democrat sources, and according to the New York Post, Dem clients of daughter of New York judge in Trump hush money trial raised $93 million off the case. $93 million, almost $100 million. So what this is this is a covert political operation where he has set up his daughter to get the cash. So it's not going directly to him. It's a thing where he gets the money, but he can claim that he's not getting the money. And what we see is this is a thing that people taking bribes do. We've seen this with the Clinton Foundation. We've seen this with the McCain Foundation. The Clinton Foundation, what they would do is they had a foundation that supposedly helped people, but it was a way for people to bribe them, to get them to do what they want them to do. It's well known that the Clinton Foundation got Saudi Arabia money, Chinese money, other monies, and it was just a big slush fund. And when Haiti had that earthquake, it is well known that the Clinton Foundation raised all this money supposedly for Haiti and squandered $1 billion of it. The Haitian people barely saw 5% of that. The rest of it disappeared. And then you've got the McCain Foundation as well, same thing. It's a way to send money to politicians to bribe them to make it look like you're being altruistic and a philanthropist when in fact what you're really doing is you're taking bribes. The McCain Foundation took in money supposedly to end human trafficking. You know, Arizona's right there on the border of Mexico. Years ago, Phoenix had the highest kidnap rate in America. I mean, imagine that. Right there, people getting kidnapped and end up in Mexico, never to be seen again. But anyway, the McCain Foundation supposedly was made to combat that. But when they looked at the books, they found out that absolutely no money went to human trafficking, it went to other things. So what we're seeing here is the news media blasting all over the place that he's a convicted felon now, when this thing's probably going to get overturned. What we're seeing now is this Judge Mershon guy is a dirty, dirty, paid off judge, one of the many judges that was put in to do this type of dirty work, and he's making lots of money, almost $100 million according to the New York Post. So that's what's going on here. Like I said, at Ultra Top Secret, we study both covert military and political operations, and that's what this is. That's what's going on here. So and there's a bunch of weird stuff that happened with the Clinton Foundation as well. The CEO of Compass, a company that actually built the Clinton Foundation, ended up passing away in an airplane crash. There was a few Haitians that complained about the Clinton Foundation squandering all that money, and they ended up passing away under weird circumstances. So we're seeing that this is a way to pay off judges and pay off politicians to get without it looking like a payoff. So there you go. That's what's going on with this Judge Mershon thing. Now think about this. This is another thing that's happening, that's going on with this Judge Mershon situation that no one else is talking about. Here at Ultra Top Secret, we look at everything from an angle of top secret operations and ops and parapolitics. What's going on here is we have a situation where a judge's daughter is getting money from sources. But of that $93 million, I am very willing to bet that not every single penny is just from American donors. I'm very sure that the usual suspects are involved with this, like George Soros. It is well known that what he does is he sends monies to proxy fighters and judges, stuff like this, to get his agendas across. It's well known that he has contributed to DAs that let people that get arrested during rioting, they put right back out on the street. So we live in this Orwellian Brave New World Twilight Zone where people who riot and destroy people's lives financially and maybe even literally are getting put out in the street to do it again. And then we have a situation where someone who is a billionaire with the best lawyers in the world is still getting railroaded, and the judge doing this is getting almost $100 million to do this. But if there are foreign monies involved with this, the other thing that we have to think about is that this looks like what a terrorist organization would do. Terrorist organizations, the definition of a terrorist organization is an organization that takes money in from whatever sources, from foreign sources, and then uses that money to threaten, coerce, or affect change in political systems of other countries, and that's what's happening here. If there's foreign monies going to his daughter, and I'm very sure there is, then what we have is a situation where we've got a U.S. judge taking foreign money to affect change, to go after. It's worse than just going after the biggest political rival of the sitting U.S. resident. He's not the president. We'll get into that in other episodes. The military has laws for when America is occupied, and it looks like we are in those laws right now. Those are things that we will talk about later on. When Biden went to go to Washington, Air Force One did not pick him up. There's all kinds of weird videos of him supposedly in the Oval Office in the White House, but they're obviously AI or faked. So we'll get into that into future episodes. But what we have here is a situation where a judge is taking money, and if there's any foreign money in that, and I'm sure there is, then we're talking about he and his daughter being terrorists. So what's going to happen is, in the future, what I see happening is this is not going to bode well for Judge Merchan and his daughter. If they're taking foreign money, and I'm very sure they are, they will be able to be tried as military combatants. What I'm looking at here is what I'm seeing is what I think is going to happen is here in the future, we're going to, and the news media is already talking about it. Mika Brzezinski was talking about if President Trump won, how he was going to go for revenge and all that kind of stuff. What they're already trying to do is they're trying to make it look like the if the law is applied to these people that have been breaking the law and taking foreign money, if the law gets applied to them, they're going to try to cry that it is a politically motivated hit job. And it's not. What I suspect is going to happen in the future is if Trump goes to try to do, go clean up the swamp by using the judicial system, I don't think that that's going to work. The judicial system is so corrupt, and it's just bad optics. I think what's going to eventually happen is the military will get involved, and then when that happens, we're going to have military tribunals. In order to cut through all of this, there's no other way. And what I'm getting at is this. Mr. Merchan has not put himself in a very good position with his shenanigans here. This has the potential to eventually bite him in the butt, and it's going to be a real problem for him later if and when military tribunals go in. So, tell me what you think. If you've made it this far, please give me a like and subscribe, and I will see you on the next Ultra Top Secret.